What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Wednesday, June, the 20th. Oh damn, we're at the end of the month, goddamn. Okay, if this is the first video that you've seen from me from a while, okay? It's because you missed the last video, okay? I've been away. I went to go get some milk. I explained it in this video. This video talked about what happened. Okay, it was pretty crazy. It's a pretty big deal. Okay, don't miss it. If you miss this part of the story, it's canon. You won't know what's happening going forward. So go back later after this video. Elephant in the room. I don't got my jacket on because it's hot. Okay, it's really hot outside. It's 110 degrees index right now. Okay, this is the Omni Summer DLC. Elephant in the room number 2. I probably look very black. More black than usual is because I was outside. I was reading. Okay, I was reading one of those self-help books, you know, trying to understand my emotions and all that shit. And I was just out there just cooking and frying. I had suntan lotion and everything, but I am getting like Wesley Snipes purple out here. It's getting bad on these streets. I hope you guys are staying safe and drinking a lot of water because it's very dangerous heat indexes out here in the States. And third elephant in the room, okay? It's not my fault. All right, you guys are talking about World War III, right? I take a break for 2 months, you know, just to go away, and now World War III, and now you guys are blaming me. Omni, World War III is happening because of you. Every time you step away, everything's getting worse. You know what? You might be right. You actually might be right. But no, it makes sense why life gets worse when I'm not around, because it's me. You know, I got the energy. I bring the energy to you guys. You know, I make sure that your lives are better. Okay, so hit the like button. Hit it. And yeah, let's see what kind of doom and gloom we got going on since I've been gone. What's happening in the past week or so? What's happening on the internet? Let's go. Frame 1 Smash news? Really? You guys know I don't like to talk about Smash news. All right, but you know what? I'm gonna lift up the pause a little bit, okay? Because I checked into a little bit of this, and this is a big chunky one. This is a big deal. It goes outside of Smash. It's hitting like all regions and spheres. So you know what? Screw it. Let's talk about it, okay? My girl, Agent V, I hope you're doing well, homie. She said, Mango, a very popular Smash Melee player, was let go by C9. The context as to why is in the replies. If you get into this episode, welcome back, man. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. I saw all the welcome backs, by the way, in the tweets and the comments. I appreciate it. This one absolutely freaking sucks, okay? For those of you guys who did not know, well, we just talked about it. Mango is a official Smash Melee player. Most of you guys know, but Super Smash Brothers, the video game for the Nintendo Switch and the Melee GameCube and all of that stuff, people go out there and play it competitively, and then they make money and make a living off of it. And Mango was probably one of the most successful people doing it when it comes to the Melee scene. Him and Hungrybox are the kind of the ones with the last Mohicans up until now, until he yeah, from what I heard, he went to this party. The party was with this guy named Ludwig. You've probably heard of him as well because he's also from the Smash community as well, and now he's just a YouTuber and streamer and does all that stuff. But yeah, it was a Mario Kart party where people come around, a bunch of influencers come hang out, play Mario Kart, and drink. I think it's called beers. I'll find out in a second. But yes, Mango got let go from his company, C9, which is an esports organization, which he has been with for, I believe, almost a decade at this point. This is a very big deal because I don't know what his income was with C9, but usually these sports teams pay you some good, they put the lights on, they keep the lights on, and I'm sure he's probably well off without it after all of this, but I don't know his situation. Let's look at the official statement from Cloud9. We are aware of the recent incident involving Joseph Mango Marquez, fully acknowledge the concerns raised by our community and partners. Following an internal evaluation, we have made the decision to release cats. Come on. Chase is in there going crazy. Oh, y'all haven't seen the cats. You haven't seen the cats. Okay, no, that's my ADHD. Stay on focus, stay on topic. I'll show them to you eventually, okay? I'm sorry. By the way, I'm super happy right now to be back. So if I seem a little extra jittery excited, it's because of that. Regardless of the 10-year accomplishments, the behavior demonstrated is entirely unacceptable and directly conflicts with our organization's core values. We maintain a zero-tolerance stance regarding harassment or any other form of inappropriate conduct. Our primary focus remains fostering a respectful, inclusive, and safe environment for everyone associated with Cloud9. We will continue to collaborate closely with our talent, partners, and community to uphold and reinforce these standards. We wish Mango the best in his future endeavors. So C9 has officially let go of Mango. Some of you guys are like, well, what did he do? Well, let's go find out. Context is in the replies. For anyone wondering, Mango was drunk and was caught literally humping Maya on camera. It's called Barrio World Cup. And yes, we have some, unfortunately, sexual harassment here.
See, we're not drunk, guys. Yeah, we're not drunk. But Mango, on the other hand. No. He's humping toes. No.
End the stream. End it.
End the stream, Mango says.
End the stream.
Yeah, so I think that was one of several things that occurred during the party. I think it was a comment by Ludwig, and we'll get to it later, but this seems to be a thing that he does when he gets drunk, is do this little air humping motion. And yeah, I don't think I need to explain what he did, but I don't think I need to give you guys the play-by-play. You saw exactly what happened. I will say that I think the weird thing that's happening here is that nobody's really checking Mango. That's the kind of, not even like checking him in a way like, hey bro, leave the ladies alone, stop sexually harassing them, you know, like what you should do, right? But not even just that, even like some of his friends being like, yo, Mango, hey, chill, homie. All right, what you're doing is out of pocket. It's going to influence her, and it's going to affect you too, homie. Like out of his own safety, because as you can see, he has just kind of ruined everything that he's built up to this point. And also, what's important to note as well is that Mango is an alcoholic. He's basically known as the guy that does everything, and when he is doing those things, he is drunk. Okay, always drunk. You don't never see him not drunk. It's kind of his shtick. So the combination of him being crazy drunk and people always not allowing it, and also having behavior that kind of gets away and nobody keeping him in check, led to this unfortunate moment here as well. And unfortunately, yeah, Maya and Extra Emily here had to kind of be witnesses to this air humping in the air thing. Which brings us to good old Ludwig, who was the guy who hosted this event. I'm sure he wasn't happy to know that, hey guys, let's all drink and play Mario Kart, and now I've got to address the elephant in the room of one of my friends basically sexually harassing another one of my friends. Not a great place to be. There's a couple of responses from on the internet, but I think this is the one that you guys pointed me to that I'll play right now.
So I feel really bad about that. And, you know, I reached out to anyone who I felt might have felt uncomfortable and talked to them. But also, and I already told Mango this, I'm no longer inviting Mango to Mogul Moves events. Because, like, you know, it's a privilege to go to an event, man. Like, the whole point of an event is, like, it's a fun thing to do, have a good-ass time. And if somebody appearing jeopardizes somebody else having a good time, that just can't.
Yeah, that can't be a thing.
Exactly. Now I see a lot of dialogue on like broader implications. I'm only worried about my team, my events. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't speak for the Melee community. I'm not like championing any other action.
Okay, so Ludwig dancing around this last part saying that he doesn't speak for the Melee community is because the Smash community and Melee community is wild. It's wild, okay? Let me just call it what it is. It's a bit out of pocket. There's a lot of mixed bags in there. I used to be in that space a long time ago, and then there was the whole Me Too movement, and I was like, dang, people moving kind of weird and strange around here. Let me back the hell out. Let me get out. That's why I stopped talking about Smash. Anyway. Long story short, he's trying to say he's not speaking on behalf of the Smash community. My guess is because he's not trying to be a spokesperson, because you'll find plenty of spokespeople of the Smash community on Twitter, okay? Moral high grandstanding saying XYZ, like everyone's saying whatever the hell that they can say. You will find that on Twitter. My guess is he doesn't want to be the guy who's kind of representing the Smash community. But unfortunately, the person that is getting taken out of these events, Mango, is one of the big dogs, okay? He's one of the legendary last top players, Melee, and him leaving this scene is like the equivalent of, I don't know, Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z getting canceled for sexual harassment, all right? Vegeta, you know, it sounds kind of crazy, but right, if Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta was just no longer in Dragon Ball Z, sorry, Vegeta got caught out there, you know, doing some crazy stuff. He's gone, and that's what this is right now. I'm sorry I made that analogy, and you had to think about it, right? But I'm just trying to lighten things up. Now, as many of you guys know, there's been a lot of back and forth on Twitter. A lot of people quote retweeting, talking about Ludwig, talking about the Smash community, saying that the Smash community is poopy, smelling, said that everyone won't be taking no showers. They talk about how everyone is just weirdos. They talk about all this deviant behavior. You know, a lot of people dunking, bam, 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 you know, on the Smash community. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Okay, Smash community is there's things. All right, let's not get into it. The point is that everybody has something to say about it. I've been staying out of it. I don't like to talk about it as much anymore because I used to be those type of spokesperson and I wasn't feeling the energy. But this one's pretty big, you know, man, because this doesn't go beyond it goes beyond just the Smash community, right? This is alcoholism. This shows you kind of like the rise and fall and the consequences and repercussions of just one single moment that changes your entire life and maybe kind of make you think about your own life and where you're headed about the things that you're doing. It's a good reflective point, moral of the story, cautionary tale that I think everybody should look into as well. But instead, let's just go to Mango and see what he has to say or has been saying on Twitter, because he's been saying a few things since the incident. The first thing he said the morning he woke up said was, hate waking up and seeing I was drunk, dumbass. Don't like using the drunk excuse because it's childish, but in the moment, I think everyone is as drunk as me, and that's usually not the case. I will privately apologize to anyone I made uncomfortable and hope I'm forgiven. So that's his frame one, wake up and be like, oh crap, that was really bad. And yeah, I've been drunk, not to the point where like blackout drunk, but I've been drunk before, right? And again, I'm not making excuses for Mango at all. And I know that's when people start making excuses for Mango. But the point is that when I get drunk or tipsy, right, I don't go around air humping people. So alcoholism is one thing. There's some people who get alcohol and they just chill. They just mind their business. Some people get, I know it sounds crazy, right? Because you only hear about the alcoholic events and the people being, some people get real drunk and they just, you know, literally mind their business. Some people become belligerent and violent. Some people become exceptionally sad. It seems like Mango's becomes extremely goofy, and one parts of his goofy is being sexually inappropriate and thinking that other people are also in on the joke. He also says, I feel very stupid and embarrassed. Think like 99% of my problems always stem from drinking, so I'm going to reevaluate my relationship with alcohol. I'm not downplaying anything. I know I'm dumb and know better, and I will accept any consequences that come my way. Continuing to reflect his thoughts, he said, couldn't sleep. Feel like I let so many people down. Talked to a few friends and just realized I have a problem. Everyone has coddled me for so long and kind of looked the other way when it came to my drinking. Don't want anyone to feel bad for me / defend me. Sorry to everyone I've let down or hurt. I know, it just looks like I'm trying to save face, but I genuinely feel so awful about it. All I've done is reflect on my life and realized I'm a broken human. I will try and redeem myself over time, as I always do. Gonna stop drinking immediately and get it together. Sorry that I am an F up, but I will and can be better. So, you know, saying that he's taking accountability, there's a little bit of, I don't know. There's a little bit of the concept of saying like, don't feel bad for me, but also like in his own, you know, words, he's saying things that might cater to people's emotions, saying like, oh yeah, I am an F up, or yeah, I am broken. Like it's things that unintentionally might make people feel sorry for him, sympathetic, you know, kind of thing, and potentially garner sympathy. Again, don't know if that's his intention or not, throwing around the concepts of feeling so awful or feeling like a broken human. Because when you start talking like that, people then start to get absorbed in the way that you feel, and you got to be kind of careful with that. But again, giving people the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to say maybe that's not what he's intentionally trying to do, but just kind of, you know, be aware of it. That's all. Just keep an eyes open, okay? Anyway, he said, C9 dropping me, probably getting banned from tourneys. Effing shit, man. No one to blame but myself, but man, never thought I could hit this low. Probably won't hear from me for a while. I'm sorry, everyone. Wish I was better. I had it all and effing tossed it in the trash can. He then replied to C9 and said, hey, I'm sorry, C9. You guys were always amazing to me, and I'm so sorry it has to end this way. Appreciate everyone at the org. C9 will always have a special place in my heart. Sad face. And last but not least, I'm thinking this is the last thing that Mango has said about it. I mean, he might add more to it. I'm not exactly sure. As you can see, he has a lot to say about everything that's happening. Mainly just feeling sorry for himself and being like, I let everyone down and I lost everything and this really sucks and I'm taking full accountability and I'm very sad. That's kind of what's happening right now. Here it looks like he kind of structured his sentences, maybe thought about what he was saying beforehand and made a statement saying, I want to start by being real about what happened. All right, I made multiple people feel uncomfortable while drunk at burial cart. There's no excuse. It was messed up. It hurt people and I crossed the line. I take full responsibility for it. I've already reached out to the people involved to try to make things right. I also let down my family and close friends. I want to apologize to my son. I know this is something he'll have to carry, and Joseph, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. I'm going to be better for both of us. He then continues and says, when I talked to my mom about everything, I said I was glad my grandma wasn't around to see this. She passed away recently and I hadn't said anything publicly, but saying out loud to my mom just broke me. I started crying, and I don't think I've done that with her since I was a kid. What hit me hardest was realizing I never took my grandma to see the Pope, like I always said I would. I kept putting it off to drink or go to events, and now I can't. That effing sucks. The regret is going to stay with me. After reflecting on the worst moments of my life, I see a pattern. Alcohol has always been involved. I understand that my words mean nothing right now, and alcohol excuses 0% of my actions, but I promise I'm going to beat this and show you that I could be a greater man without the influence of alcohol. I know my grandma is looking down and rooting for me. Next, I don't want anyone to defend me for my actions. I was in the wrong 100%, and there's no one to blame but myself. I cross lines and boundaries, and no matter the circumstances. Once you make someone else uncomfortable, even if you think what you're doing isn't bad at the moment, lines get crossed and it's just over. I think it's very important to include that, okay? Because a lot of people want to put the onus on intention. And that's a trap, okay? Be like, what isn't intending? So please, excuse it. Like I wasn't trying to do it on purpose. And it does make a difference. I will say that. Like someone intentionally, obviously harassing, and someone who's kind of like maybe not in the space, it does make a difference, but it doesn't take away the fact that someone got sexually harassed. Does that make sense? And that's the whole part about taking about accountability, whether it's intentional or unintentional enough, right? If I take a gun and I shoot you intentionally, right? Bam, right in the leg. Bow, bow. Gotcha. Ah, you shot me in the leg. Now say I have a gun, right? I'm just like, and I accidentally shoot you in the leg. Oops, sorry. I did not mean to shoot you in the leg, okay? That means that this was an accident, but your leg is still shot. You still got a bullet. So the person on the receiving end, regardless of the intention or not, still has a bullet in their leg. Maybe they can feel a little bit better about it, the fact that you're not trying to murder them, but still, the bullet, the damage is done. Does that make sense? Anyway, he said, I'm sorry to everyone hurt in the process, including everyone watching in the Melee community. Since all this happened, I've talked to a lot of people. The letter is mostly for them. I lost my C9 family, people I've known for years, people I care about. The phone call with Jack hit hard. It felt like I let down someone who was like a second dad to me. I still don't really know how to think about it. And finishing up, he says, as for the ban, I support it. I've always wanted what's best for Melee. If I never get to come back, I accept that. What matters most now is fixing what I can and making sure I never become that person again. Trust takes time, and some people might never want me around again. I respect that fully. My next step is to focus on real recovery. I've already started researching rehab and will be checking into one when I find the right fit. My relationship with alcohol was always a problem, and I just kind of made it my thing, so it was easy to brush a lot of the behavior and comments off. That lifestyle has caught up to me, and I need to make a change for the better, and the only way to do that is to move forward and accept that I need to leave the person I was behind. For the near future, I'm going to take a step behind from streaming and social media. Hopefully next time you see me, things are better, no matter how long it takes. Thank you, Mango. And that's the gist of the situation. For what I understand, Supernova and a lot of TOs and tournament organizers are making announcements talking about how like Mango is officially uninvited to events or been banned. But Mango's also already saying that he's just going to step away, in general as well. So not coming to the event, going to check into rehab. So yeah, that's kind of where we are now. It's just commentary. Now you have people everywhere. You have some people who are slamming Mango, calling him a predator, saying the Smash community have a bunch of sex pests, saying like, yeah, he's just going to do this and he's going to come back and he's going to get back and he's going to be powerful again. And none of this is going to really matter. It's just a big old timeout. And you have some other people who are supporting Mango saying like, hey, yeah, no, Mango, this is people mess up and this is how things happen. This is life. He didn't even do anything wrong in the first place. In fact, when you apologize to the if you apologize, if you bend the knee, don't apologize. You know who you are. So it's that. You got the social commentary of people kind of projecting their own, what they believe people should live like, and then, pushing onto the situation. In my opinion, me projecting my own opinion onto the situation, this sounds like this is shitty for all parties involved, except for technicals. I'm sure he's about to make a video on this situation. People who do not like the Smash community, they're probably, having a good time with this. When I take a step back, when I take a step forward, or when I practice empathy and I look at all the parties involved, it just sucks. It really, really sucks. When you try to give people the benefit of the doubt of the situation, or when you just try to look at the situation for what it is. The thing is that when this stuff happens, right, a lot of people focus on Mango, but no one's paying attention to Maya, right? The girls, the people who are actually just been harassed, right? And how that makes her feel. It gets downplayed in the entirety of the situation, and now it becomes Mango potentially being a victim of alcoholism, which technically is correct. He probably is a victim of alcoholism, but we pivot away. You probably have noticed it, how it becomes, the story changes to him and less about the original person and how this got done. And it's really important that we don't switch and pivot, because that behavior is usually normalized, right? Like the fact that nobody was checking it, that's the core. That's the root, right? That's the root issue, is when normalized behavior like that goes unchecked, and then eventually someone catches it on camera. And that's kind of what needs to be the thing. I think that, people stop, but I don't know how to make it stop, because usually people who don't check it usually are letting it slide because sometimes they feel those kinds of way. Maybe they feel pressure to stop Mango because he's a full adult human. So I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. I hope Mango gets rehab and he gets better from this. I'd always want to see people like try to redeem themselves. Okay. I think giving people a way out is so important, right? Condemning, sure. Holding accountability, sure. But rehabilitation is so important, because without the ability to become better and to change, and removing that concept from people is what keeps people from never changing. Why should I try to be better if no one will give me and let me know that that is a potential chance to be that? It's hard, because there's a lot of human beings, I think, that just want to condemn people because it makes them feel better, feels good to assert, to stop. But I mean, if we practice, empathy, and we kind of look at the situation for what it is, he apologized. That's good. He took accountability. That's good. He's taking a step back. That's good. Doing the things that kind of need to be done in this situation, and the order of things that need to be done. And then at this point, we just see what happens. But you guys can let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this Mango situation as a whole. Okay, I'm curious about what you guys have to say. In lighter news, Super Jacob said someone put their house on fire. Also, it's been a year that Kendrick Lamar, Drake beef happened. Glad you're back, big man. Big love. Thanks, gang. Appreciate it. Yeah, I did that on purpose, by the way. Speaking of lighter news, house on fire. You guys don't appreciate me.
Oh shit, wait, no. You
know you're doing your best. You're doing your best. This man was lighting this man, oh my, this is a sickness. It is a sickness. Okay, this is all for content. Let me light my house on fire and then let me get some coke. I'm losing the words. Woosah. Okay? Woosah. All right. Let them and then let me. This is absolutely freaking wild. It's done intentionally. It's done on purpose. There's no accidents, bro. Just straight up burn their house, and people will do anything for clout, attention. It is a sickness. It is a drug.
That's not fucking fuck.
He's still posing for the camera. This was on purpose. He's still in frame. He's still in frame. He's still in frame. Tell me, chat, tell me. Okay, now I'm back to my brain rot ways. Tell me this gang did not say, I'm going to light my house on fire today. I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to appear on channels like this. This is dang. Anyway, yeah, he lights the house on fire. What else? He's putting it out now.
That didn't work. How the hell do you use those?
Why do you not call 911? Oh! I thought this whole self-discovery thing was going to make me be like, channel my inner zen. Yeah, nothing can affect you. Stoicism. Oh my God. I'm so enraged by this. The fact that he keeps coming to talk to chat. Chat, look at this. My house is on fire. Oh my God. And your mic shut off. Oh, and there goes the video. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is it, some of y'all saying, it wasn't his fault. I don't know. I think it was. I think he did it on purpose. But God, sorry. I'm not saying a lot. I'm trying to release my frustration with this clip. Okay, we're done. We're good. Let's move on. Someone in the comments said, clearly a fake room. Room doesn't fill with smoke. Look how tiny it is, which makes sense actually, right? So it's just a prank, bro. There's been this thing that I've been seeing, you know, while I've taken this side, but sometimes I come to Twitter and I'll be like, let me see what y'all doing over here, what y'all niggas. I see like streamers still driving without, there was this one clip, I forget who the name was, Rakai or something like that. Mans was just driving, literally 10 seconds, eyes on his phone while driving. And then you have kids, you have teenagers be like, watching this shit. I can't wait till I can get a car so I can drive without looking. I can like that. It's irresponsible. And you know what I sound like? I sound like old man yells at cloud. I recognize it now. I recognize that. Look at these youths. Look at it. But it comes from a place of concern, but also, you know, let them and let me. If these guys, if they want to set their house on fire, if they want to accidentally die, you know, see, the problem is that the things that they're doing here don't just affect them. That's what pisses me off, right? If you want to go ahead and do some stupid shit and die, that's on you, whatever. Darwinism ward, maybe that's kind of dark. I don't care. But you put yourself in danger and you die, and it is what it is. But if you put yourself in danger and you potentially put others who are not impacted by your stupidity, that's when I get frustrated and I draw the line, right? Because some of these stunts and some of these things that these kids doing here can potentially and have impacted other people. And yeah, I think you guys understand. I think there's nothing left to say about that. That was very well said, me. So Frank the Tank said, hey, since you're back, congrats on figuring out your mental health. Heavily relatable. But would you do a recap of things you missed, went away? Curious on your thoughts about the Switch 2? ? Emoji, heart, hugs. Thanks so much for it, homie. Thank you. Yeah, I heard a lot went down when I was gone, bro. World War III? World War III. Before we get into World War III, let's talk about something way more important than that, the Nintendo Switch 2. So here it is, the Nintendo Switch 2. I have it right here. And my thoughts, is that this thing is actually incredible, right? It's a bigger Switch, essentially. Like the Joy-Cons, they come out in a way that's just really freaking cool. But the Joy-Cons are bigger. The screen is bigger. The gameplay of the games that you can play are better. Everything's a little bit faster and smoother. And even though it's everything better, that whole shtick where like, yeah, everything's just same thing, but better, right? It's a good same thing and better. Like it feels good to play it. It feels like a completely new system. It's the same system, but improved and improved well enough to increase the quality of life of like the entire gaming experience of Nintendo. Here's my home screen, by the way. Okay, I have a Slay-Inspired addiction, okay? I'll be frank, I was playing Fantasy Life. That game is what I had an addiction for. I think I put a lot of hours into that game, and that was playing Suikoden. I haven't played Celeste or 13 Sentinels. I don't play games on the Switch. I don't know if there's any games. I think the only game that came out for the Switch 2 was like Donkey Kong, but I haven't been playing any games. A lot of people have been saying there's just no games and we're kind of waiting for some of the releases, but the games that you can play are better, right? You can go back and you can play old games like Zelda Breath of the Wild or some of the main things. And I think it costs like an extra certain like $5 for you to pay for it. But if you pay for it, it's just like way better. But I'm not doing that. I don't got time to go back and play freaking Zelda. Okay. I'm not even going to talk about Zelda. I have some opinions about it. The point is yeah, I like it. I can't complain about it. I think it's just this point is just waiting for more games. And while waiting for more games, I already have a game log that's absolutely freaking crazy. There's Expedition 33. There's Deltarune 2 or chapters 3 and 4, which I need to play. But I don't want to play because I don't like playing games in chapters, right? I played 1 and 2. Now I don't want to play 3 and 4 and wait. I want to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just not a fan of watching things and like they're playing it. Maybe I should just come into it, but a part of me kind of wants to not play it and then wait. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I'm kind of weird about that. What else? There's Street Fighter 6 has new patches, right? They got new characters coming out. I think it's Viper, Sagat, and 2 other people. I'm drawing a blank right now. So gaming is a really great space. My backlog is absolutely freaking huge. So the Switch 2 can take their times when it comes to games, but if you only want to play the Switch 2, I think right now you're kind of only playing with a few games. There's also Mario Kart, which was interesting. I actually didn't jump on the Mario Kart bind. I loved Mario Kart, but it I think part of it being like I don't have a lot of friends to play Mario Kart with, but also I don't have that energy to want to play when I play Mario Kart, to be frank, when I like playing Mario Kart the most is when I'm sitting on the couch and I got like 3 other homies and we're just like sitting there eating, talking and playing. That's my favorite Mario Kart experience. The online experience has been something that's a little bit harder to get into, but maybe I'm just being old fashioned. But yeah, those are my thoughts about the Switch 2. I think it's a great system. I think it's fun. I think if you don't have one, you can chill. You honestly can chill. Like, this is not something that you need to have frame one. You can relax, okay? Wait until some of the big games come out for the fall or the spring or even in the winter if you want to, and go to your Steam and play a lot of games that are currently on Steam and you can chill in there. You have, you're fine. You don't have to rush into this. There's nothing here in terms of games that you need to be playing right now. Now, if they release something like Animal Crossing or like Smash, right? Or something crazy, then you want to get ready. You want to get ready for that. But until then, you can chill. It's a great system. I like it. Now that we talked about Nintendo Switch 2, now we can talk about World War III. That's right. Freaking bombs over Baghdad and freaking, what is this? June 2025. We're back here to the war. Okay, I've been keeping up a little, but also not a little. A part of my whole thing was disconnecting because I think kind of like, hear me out. But being too ingrained with certain type of news outlets like Twitter and stuff can be pretty, exhausting. I want to get information, but I don't want to get it away that feels exhausting. Hence, us talking about it here feels like the great way to kind of get information. I can get it and you can get it, but it feels like a forum. I like this a lot better. Anyway, yeah. World War III, we've got Iran is getting bombed by Israel, and now in America is talking about, United States is talking about they're part of it as well. At first they weren't, and we got Trump saying like crazy random things, saying about what he's doing, what he's not doing, all this kind of, people don't know what's being lies or what's being told or what's being fed, what's the agenda. People are wondering, is there going to be a World War III? And all I got to say is if there is, I'm not getting drafted. This is not me. All y'all who kept calling me Unc. Hey, yo, Unc, yo, Unc, you getting up there. Look at you. You try to make fun of me for being older, and now you wish you was the Unc. You wish you was a daddy. Look at you. See how the tables have turned. All right, so let's break this down really quickly. Essentially, there's a fear of World War III. Okay, it involves Israel, Iran, and United States. As you guys probably know, this is not coming out of nowhere. It's been building for several years. You got Israel and Iran who have been locked in a really cold conflict for, I think, decades at this point, mostly over Iran's push for regional power and nuclear capabilities and Israel's determination to stop it. The United States is heavily tied to Israel, as you guys probably know, while Iran backs a network of groups across the Middle East, like Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis and militias in both Iraq and Syria. Back in April 2024, almost like a year from now, Israel bombed an Iranian consulate in Syria, killing high-ranking Iranian commanders. In response, Iran launched a massive missile and drone strike directly at Israel, which is the first time ever Iran openly attacked Israel head-on. Israel, with major help from the United States, however, intercepted most of the attack. So basically now the entire world is watching this extremely fragile standoff. People are worrying that one attack could ignite basically a much larger wall, potentially pulling the United States and NATO and even other global powers like Russia or China into the figure. And that's essentially what's happening. People are wondering if this is going to turn into World War III. And yeah, a part of me subscribes to the whole subscription of that nothing really happens. You know that little meme where it's like, it's nothing o'clock, nothing really happens. But at the same time, a lot of somethings have been happening over the past 2-3 years in that region, if you know what I mean. So nothing is not actually ever happening. But when we tell you about nothing, we talk about the concept of World War III. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of speculations that are floating around on the internet that I would say be careful, because a lot of people are expecting doom and gloom. Some people are expecting a recession. Some people are expecting a civil war, right? Like there's a lot of fear mongering gone out there, but also some people believe that this is tied into what's actually occurring in this administration, right? So people don't even believe it's just fear. It's just, this is just common sense. This is where we're headed and where we're going. What I would say to you guys is don't be afraid. Just be vigilant. Okay. Expect the worst. just prepare. All right. If there are things that are in your control, and there are things that are not in your control, and if this whole thing stresses you out, okay, just you're not going to stop any of these people. You ain't going to stop Israel. You're not going to stop you. You ain't going to stop none of this. All right. So focus on exactly what you guys can do at home. Maybe you want to get your finances set up. Maybe you want to take a little bit of cash out the market and be a little bit more cash liquid for your investment in your portfolios in case there might be a drop. And then if there's a drop, then bam, you can start investing into a stop drop market. Maybe you want to equip yourselves. Okay. Maybe you want to have routes. Like, just all you want to do is just prepare. Always kind of prepare for the worst, but also don't be stressed about the worst. You might prepare for the worst and the worst never comes, but the fact that you prepared for it might be enough to kind of give you a place where you have options. Execute your options, and I'll keep you guys in the know as things happen. And then as things continue to happen and develop, then yeah, we can go from there. It's going to be all right. It's going to be Daijambu. Okay. I ain't saying that the world is all, gold and glitter and everything. There's a lot of bad things happening. Okay. But we will get past that. Okay. I believe in that. And all right, guys, we're going to stop on this one right here. Apparently there is a petition that has been happening called the Stop Killing Games petition that I haven't really heard of. Deadline is coming up by the end of the month. What the hell is going on? I quite literally don't know what's going on, but I've been seeing this fly around in different places. What is the Stop Killing Games petition? On the website, it says Stop Killing Games, stopkillinggames.com. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. What do they mean by destroying video games? Are they talking about like the cyber? Like when they release a game for you to play digitally and then they make it so that you can no longer play it digitally? An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence and is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely uncontested in many countries. Okay, I'm here for this. I am here for this. The preservation of video games, I think, is very, very important. This is like the preservation of any kind of media or books or anything. Preservation of history, right? I think is preservation of the forest. I like preserving. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and have brought forth petitions for a new law on this problem to various countries. We're trying to get out here a world law, or we're, obviously trying to petition, but also get laws done in individual countries. A list of the actions taken to date can be viewed here. As of 2025, most consumer action on this matter has concluded, and we are awaiting decisions on it from several governments. However, there are a few remaining avenues left when people can participate if they are eligible. There are 500,000, it looks like. What is this? European Citizen Initiative is open. This is the most powerful option at our disposal, but it requires a massive number of signatures from citizens of EU countries in order to pass. If we can pass the signature threshold, there is a very strong chance that the European Commission will pass the new law that will both protect consumer rights to retain video games that they have purchased and advance preservation efforts massively. What? It's crazy. When I think about these petitions, I don't ever feel like they work, but it's getting done? 500,000 signatures of gamers in EU trying to help with the preservation of games. I love this. There's nothing about this that I do not love. I saw a post here on Reddit that I'll just read to you guys really quick, was like some top comments that people have been talking about it for the past 24 hours. This comment says, "It is rather ridiculous that quite often new single player games with zero functions that would require an internet connection often require being connected to play them. I still remember having a PS2/PS3 and never once connected it to the internet. Fun times. Games actually being on their little physical disc fully and completely." Another person said, "Big shout out to Pirate Software for being so hilariously and confidently incorrect and actively hurting the effort." Another person said, "I love this to pass because it sets precedents for you to own and keep all copies of digitally purchased media, such as ebooks, games, music, and movies, etc. The service providers wouldn't be able to revoke and delete your media at will, which they can and sometimes do at the moment. If you buy a copy of something digitally, you should be able to keep it and use it in perpetuity, which is the core tenet of the argument this petition is making." So we're getting to the concept of cyber assets, right? Cyber digital assets, essentially ebooks, like videos that are online that you download, things that are like in the cyber world, and the ownership of it. Because the issue is that a lot of people, a lot of companies, when they are selling their products to you, they're not giving it to you so that you can own it in eSpace. They're giving you a license. The license is completely different from actually owning said product. So the license says, most of you guys know this, but just to make sure, right? The license says, I'm giving you permission to play this game, okay? You may play this game. You may read this book. But you do not own it. Your ownership is not quite there. Once you buy it, you're only buying the rights to play it, which means the rights to not play it can be revoked. That's why a lot of people are upset when it comes to, I believe, Nintendo and all these digital things when they get offline, when you can no longer access video games or books or media because it just disappears into cyberspace and you can't preserve it. A lot of people get very upset because you purchased it. And you didn't purchase it for it to go away. You purchased it for ownership. So that's when the conversation between ownership and owning and what that means and storing your own games comes into place versus only getting access to it, but that access can be revoked at any point in time. I think both can be okay, but like, I feel like there's got to be a clear distinction, right? There's got to be something where it's like, here, you can rent the game indefinitely until we tell you you can't, or you can buy the game and no matter what happens to us, you now have owner and digital assets. I think, again, the problem with that then is that people buy it, they own it, and some people are worried about torrenting, pirating, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, people go and pirate, people go and steal. It is what it is. That's why corporations are just going to do whatever they can do to help their bottom line, even if it affects us, the consumers, right? The consumers who just want their ownership versus the people who are running the companies who just want their bottom line profit. Last comment I'll read here says, lots of straw man arguments in here from people who either have zero reading comprehension or are actively making these arguments in bad faith. Interestingly, I think that's a pretty condescending sentence. But TLDR, if a game dev claims that they will support the game for a set number of years, they must support it for that long. If they only want to commit to a shorter amount of support but wish to continue once they've reached that point, they're free to do so. This keep outlandish claims like a 10-year plan from being used in marketing and holds devs to their word about when consumers can reasonably expect a service to become offline payable only after time has elapsed. So a company says, hey, this game will be online for at least 10 years. Here's our promise. After that, it might go offline and you guys can't play it anymore. I think that's pretty fair. You know, holding people to like a lifeline, like we have expiration dates for food. But if you can have transparency of like at least 5 years, this thing will be up, then people can be like, all right, I understand that I'm now buying into a service, into a game, into a live service that will be available and online up to a certain point until it is not. I think people, that's a good middle ground. And trying to find out the current status of it, I think we're still waiting. I found the Pirate Software. I guess he made a video or a comment, but I'm very curious what he had to say now. For this guy I don't know, Pirate Software is a streamer who's been a lot of controversy for, I think, just being a jerk, right? I think he streams video games and I think he's a dev too as well, but he's a bit of a jerk. And people just basically, that's his shtick. This tweet saying, Pirate Software and its infinite narcissism, confidently wrong statements, and doubling down has penned a YouTube comment he made. He yet again completely missed the point of games preservation and stop killing games, using the actual experience to justify games dying being okay. Let's look at the other side here. Let's be open-minded. Let's not write people off. Let's hear what people have to say. It reads, for those who don't understand what MYM is and are spamming the comments, this is user-generated content game where you make dungeons that other people play in. Without a large player base, the game becomes instantly stale due to the lack of dungeon variation. The community has all but abandoned it, so preserving the game would not keep it playable or enjoyable. Hosting it privately does not fix this issue as it's designed with a large-scale creativity in mind. So, user-generated content game, essentially suggesting that it's a game that's based on the activity level of people playing said video game, and if enough people don't play the game, then the game doesn't generate. That sucks. Without that, it's a hollow husk and unable to be played to any real extent. This isn't about preservation, it's about a waning player base on a game I enjoyed. You cannot preserve a game's true intention by saving the files. You cannot preserve the essence of a game like this with a small group of players. It needs thousands or more active players to give the actual experience. SKG cannot fix that problem. Okay, so he's communicating that user generated games, essentially content based on people actually generating the content. I don't know. I don't have enough information to say if this is a good take or not. However, as I read into it more, it looks like Charlie, our boy Moist Critical, made a video talking about stop killing games and petitioning and having his support for it as well. Kind of moving it over in favor. Having Charlie talk about stop killing games is very important because he has a very large base. And I wonder if this is something that's going to move over into the United States or go into other countries. I'm guessing if this is something that works in the UK and the countries that are currently petitioning right now, it will make it a bigger chance for it to be spread worldwide. So when I see what happens here, the results, I will let you guys know. As you guys can probably tell, I support it. 100%. I am consumer first. Without the power to the player. Okay, that was the whole GameStop thing, right? The consumers. Okay, y'all already know I'm very, very anti-disestablishment. I've been in corporation. I've seen the evils. I know how they work. I see the system. I'm out the matrix. Okay, I get why they're trying to do it. It's the bottom line. It's not about us. It's about them. Therefore, it becomes us versus them, right? It's a fight. There is no middle ground. It's just how much can I take from them so that they can feel like they have enough. That's the fight that we're looking at. And in my opinion, and I could be wrong. Hey, tell me if I'm wrong. But in my opinion, if you don't look at it at us versus them, then they're just going to keep taking from you. Period. It's a power balance. And the goal is to see how much more these corporations can continue to take away from you, until you are at a point where you're like, all right, you can take this much from me, right? And the point where you stop fighting for your own control is the point where they start to overwhelm you with their control and you start reaching futures where, how did we get here? How did we get here? It's because there was no resistance. God damn. I am spitting. Viva la resistance. Superplan said, yap about something you think is interesting. You know, it's a good question. So I'm trying to plan out my next Late Omni. The idea is to give you guys like, I want to say evergreen type concepts about things that are happening. I want to say like in a commentary space. Am I saying anything right now or am I just talking? I want to stay with me. Please don't go. Please never leave me. All right. I noticed that when I make content, I am always my true self here. I feel so good speaking to you guys. But then sometimes I observe myself being ridiculous and I'm like, why would anybody sit here and watch me make this content? Please don't leave me. Okay? Just please, parasocially, never leave me. I was thinking about making videos that kind of have to do with like social commentary about a little bit bigger things, not just some of the small things that are happening, but maybe like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like parallel topics. One of you guys has suggested, what was it? The male lonely epidemic, pandemic, whatever. Talk about that a little bit, which I kind of know a little bit. I was thinking about adding my 2 cents to that. Do me a favor. Okay. Let me know what you guys are feeling. You said what's interesting. Help me to find out what you guys think are more bigger, broader projects that you feel like might be important to talk about in this channel. You might want to hear me say, okay. And kind of give me a little bit of inspiration on that because I do want to talk about bigger things, but I'm not exactly sure which bigger things I'm kind of attracted to right now. And if you guys show me what's kind of happening, then I can choose from there. And that way I can talk about what I think is interesting while also talking about things that you guys might think is interesting. Bam, 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 I'm a genius. Bam, I'm a genius. Anyway, that's all I have for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will try to have a Late Omni for you guys sometimes this week. And in terms of the second channel, by the way, where I'm talking about our inside world, I'm still working on a little bit of the structure, the editing, how I want it to look. Okay, go subscribe to the channel. I'll let you guys know when a video does eventually drop. But yeah, I'm not trying to make it too perfect because I have this perfectionist thing. Also, I do want to create like a feeling, a vibe. I'm a creator. I'm an artist. I want to create like a feeling. Here you guys can get, chill, relax, ADHD me, something that kind of distresses you. From there, I'm trying to figure out how I want you guys to feel as you consume. I'm trying to shape it. So that's going to happen sometime probably in July. July is probably when the first video drops. So go subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching the new episode. I love you guys. Thanks. Comment. Talk. I miss you guys. Talk to me. Talk to me. I need interaction. It's been so weird not talking to you guys. Let's talk. Let's wrap. I catch y'all later. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth, you nasty niggas. Brush your teeth. I know you haven't been brushing, you haven't been flossing. I know you skipped the floss. You stop skipping it. Do not. And brush your tongue with your nasty ass tongue. You nasty ass. Y'all over here out here going nasty. Just smell it. Imagine you try to talk to a girl and you hit them with the It's a meme, by the way. I'm talking about something else. It's not that. Imagine you do that. Breath. Instant turn off. She was into you. Now, that's the nigga. You don't want to be the dude with the bad breath. And you might be him right now. Reverse. You can change. There's still time. Get out of the gingivitis, okay? And hydrate, guys. It's really hot outside. I love y'all. I missed y'all. Y'all take it easy. I'll catch you later. All right? All right. Peace.